In October 2025, the United States and Australia came together to sign a landmark defense agreement, a moment that would reverberate across the globe. This historic pact was not just a formality, it represented a bold new chapter in the alliance between these two nations, forged in the face of mounting regional tensions and global uncertainty. The agreement signaled a dramatic and unmistakable shift in the Indo-Pacific's military balance, sending a clear message to both allies and rivals. The region, long a stage for strategic competition, now found itself at the dawn of a new era, with power dynamics rapidly evolving. Under this deal, advanced U.S. missile systems would be fast-tracked to Australian soil, transforming Australia from a supportive ally into a frontline strategic player. The deployment of cutting-edge weaponry and technology would not only bolster Australia's defenses, but also deepen military integration between the two countries. For the first time in generations, Australia gained the ability to project power far beyond its own shores. Its Air Force and Navy, now equipped with state-of-the-art systems, could operate across vast distances, protecting interests and partners throughout the Pacific. But the agreement was about more than just new weapons. It fundamentally altered the region's strategic calculus, especially for China, which now faced a more formidable and coordinated opposition to its ambitions. With this new alliance, China now confronted a powerful southern anchor it could no longer ignore. Australia's enhanced military presence would help secure vital sea lanes between the Indian and Pacific Oceans, safeguarding global trade and regional stability. This decisive move came after years of Chinese assertiveness in the South China Sea and mounting pressure on Taiwan, which had raised alarms among neighboring countries and global powers alike. By placing advanced missile systems in Australia's vast and remote outback, the US created a powerful deterrent, one that would complicate any adversary's war plans and force them to reconsider their strategies. Australia's new role brought significant risks, including the possibility of becoming a target in future conflicts. Yet it also offered unprecedented influence over the region's future, giving Australia a seat at the table in shaping Pacific security. The October handshake was more than a diplomatic gesture. It marked Australia's transformation into a key guardian of Pacific security, ushering in a new era of cooperation, resilience, and shared responsibility for peace in the region. At the heart of this groundbreaking agreement lies HIMARS, the High Mobility Artillery Rocket System, a true game-changer in modern warfare. HIMARS is a highly mobile, truck-mounted rocket launcher, designed for rapid deployment and precision strikes. It can unleash a devastating barrage of rockets, then quickly relocate before the enemy has a chance to react, making it extremely difficult to target or counter. Australia is set to deploy a significant number of these advanced systems, establishing a powerful missile network that stretches across its vast northern frontier. This network will serve as a formidable shield, capable of deterring and responding to threats across a huge area. These launchers have the capability to strike enemy ships, air bases, and command centers from hundreds of kilometers away, projecting power far beyond Australia's shores. For China and other potential adversaries, this means the waters north of Australia are transformed into a highly contested zone, essentially a no-go area for any hostile naval forces. The unmatched mobility and extended range of HIMARS force adversaries to constantly adapt, stretching their resources and complicating their operational planning. It's a system that keeps opponents guessing and on the defensive. With the integration of even longer-range precision strike missiles, Australia's ability to reach distant targets is dramatically enhanced, further increasing its deterrence and strike capabilities. The psychological impact of this new arsenal is profound. No adversary can ever feel truly secure operating near Australia's sphere of influence, knowing a swift and precise response could come at any moment. For nations like China, Russia, and North Korea, the presence of HIMARS in Australia marks a permanent and significant shift in the strategic balance of the Pacific region, altering military calculations for years to come. The message is unmistakable. Any hostile action will be met with a response that is not only swift and precise, but overwhelmingly powerful, fundamentally changing the rules of engagement in the region. China's rapidly expanding navy has become a symbol of its growing power and ambition in the Asia-Pacific region. Over the past decade, China has invested heavily in building one of the world's largest and most advanced naval forces, aiming to project influence far beyond its shores. But now, this formidable fleet faces a new and unexpected obstacle: Australia's advanced long-range missile capabilities, which have recently been upgraded and deployed along key strategic points. Chinese naval strategy depends on moving fleets through key choke points, such as the narrow straits and sea lanes that connect the South China Sea to the wider Pacific. But with Australian missiles now covering these vital passages, they create a dangerous and nearly invisible barrier that Chinese ships must reckon with. Any Chinese task force sailing south must now navigate a gauntlet of potential missile strikes from hidden, mobile launchers that can relocate quickly and strike with little warning. This new threat forces Chinese commanders to make difficult choices, either risk their valuable ships in contested waters or take costly, inefficient routes that could delay operations and reduce their effectiveness. The value of China's large surface fleet is undermined if its powerful carriers and destroyers can be targeted and potentially destroyed by land-based missiles before they even reach their objectives. Australia's missile shield not only raises the cost of naval aggression, but also forces China to divert significant resources to defense and countermeasures, stretching its military thin. It's a classic anti-access strategy, one that has been used by great powers in the past, but is now being turned against China itself. The result is clear: China's navy can no longer operate freely in the Pacific's southern reaches, as every move is now shadowed by the threat of Australian missiles. Australia's growing arsenal protects not just its own shores, but also acts as a shield for the entire region, deterring large-scale naval aggression and reassuring its allies. The Dragon's ambitions now face a wall of missiles it cannot simply sail past, fundamentally changing the balance of power in the Pacific and signaling a new era of maritime competition. Australia's military upgrade is part of a broader US-led strategy across the Indo-Pacific. Japan is boosting its own missile capabilities, creating a northern anchor to match Australia's southern strength. The Philippines, granting US access to key bases, closes gaps in the regional defense network. Taiwan, with US support, is building a porcupine defense to deter invasion. Together, these nations form a multi-layered defensive network, making Chinese expansion far riskier. The message is clear: the region stands united, not isolated. Disrupting this network now carries unacceptable costs for any aggressor. The Indo-Pacific is now ringed by a missile wall, a network of allied long-range precision missiles. This isn't a physical barrier, but overlapping fields of fire controlling key sea lanes and choke points. China's own anti-access strategy is now turned against it, with mobile launchers spread across allied territory. Any Chinese warship leaving port must run a gauntlet of allied missiles, making open ocean operations perilous. The distributed nature of this network makes it nearly impossible to neutralize. Attacking it would trigger a multi-front war with a powerful coalition. The advantage now lies with the defender. Quick victories are off the table for Beijing. The missile wall is a tool of deterrence, not aggression, raising the price of expansionism beyond reach. Beneath the waves, Australia's future nuclear-powered submarines, thanks to the AUKUS pact, add a silent, lethal layer to regional defense. These subs can patrol vast areas undetected, gather intelligence, and strike at will. For China, tracking these submarines is a near-impossible task, forcing them to invest heavily in anti-submarine warfare. In conflict, these subs could sink warships, blockade ports, and launch land attack missiles, all while remaining hidden. The AUKUS deal integrates Australia into top-tier US and UK naval operations, ensuring seamless allied cooperation. Combined with land-based missiles, these submarines create a multi-layered defense China cannot easily overcome. The result? China faces a complex, persistent threat both above and below the surface. Picture a Chinese carrier group sailing south toward the Lombok Strait. In the past, this would be uncontested. Now, Allied intelligence, including an Australian nuclear sub, tracks every move. As the fleet nears Australia, it enters the engagement zone of hidden HIMARS, launchers, and the lurking submarine. The Chinese commander faces a dilemma: advance into a missile trap or retreat in defeat. If he pushes forward, Australian missiles and submarine torpedoes strike from land and sea, overwhelming defenses. The fleet is trapped, attacked from directions it cannot counter. Losses mount, retreat becomes the only option. This scenario demonstrates the power of Allied integration. Sea lanes are no longer China's to control. Australia's missiles and submarines can halt even the most powerful naval force. The message: the Indo-Pacific is defended, and aggression will be met with devastating force. Australia's new weapons are part of a larger integrated allied network, key to maintaining a free and open Indo-Pacific. No single nation can counter China alone, but together, the alliance forms a collective defense far stronger than its parts. Australia serves as the southern anchor, deeply integrated with US, Japanese, and regional command and intelligence systems. Information flows seamlessly. A Japanese satellite spots a threat, US command relays data, and Australian HIMARS responds. This cooperation creates a unified, rapid response force that's a nightmare for Chinese planners. The alliance extends to partners like South Korea, Vietnam, and India, each contributing unique strengths. If China pressures one, it risks activating the entire network. Australia's new capabilities multiply the alliance's power, ensuring shared responsibility for Indo-Pacific security. This collaborative defense is the future, and Australia is now an indispensable hub. Australia's military transformation, anchored by the US alliance, has permanently reshaped the Pacific's strategic order. The era of unchecked Chinese maritime expansion is over. The Pacific is now a contested space where aggression carries immense risks. China can no longer operate with impunity. Any military move will face swift, multi-directional allied response. The goal isn't war, but deterrence, making aggression too costly to contemplate. Australia is now a frontline guardian of the rules-based order, with a decisive voice in the region's future. By investing in powerful capabilities, Australia ensures it's no bystander in great power competition. The US and its allies, with Australia as a southern anchor, have reset the balance of power through determined, coordinated defense. The Pacific's future will be shaped by a network of strong, sovereign nations committed to peace, stability, and freedom.